What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Talking My Shit podcast with your boy Too Skinny. Thank you guys for tuning in yet again for another episode. I'm not gonna lie, man. I was feeling pretty down right now. I recorded a 28-minute episode right now, just right now. I just recorded it, and I just got done recording it, and we scrapped the whole fucking thing because, you know what? I fucking suck dick, and it was not funny at all. And for a second, I was like, I'm gonna put that shit out, have them eat it up, you know what I'm saying? But then I was like, nah, I don't want to let my fans down. Or not my fans, but my supporters. You guys are more my supporters, not my fans. But I don't want to let the people that listen to me every single week, like, let them down with some bullshit-ass material. Like Tony said, that's what I've been doing lately. And sometimes I'm just busy, you know? But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. This week, the most embarrassing shit in the world that you can think of happened to me. So I go out with a friend, right? I go out with this friend. She's a cool person, and we go. She's talking about this place, talking about Colonial Cafe. She's talking about Colonial Cafe this, Colonial Cafe that. You know, this place is fire, this place is that. So I was like, all right, fuck it, let's go. So we were planning this little brunch thing, for the week of or whatever, and we finally, oh my god, the filter's falling, sorry. And we finally go to Colonial Cafe, and I'm super hungover. This is Saturday. This was yesterday. I'm super hungover. We're about to go into Colonial Cafe. We go into Colonial Cafe, and I'm sitting. She's a cool girl that I've been talking to recently. Why the fuck am I talking? Oh my god, let's restart this. I didn't want to say all that.
No.
Fucking let's keep going. I didn't want to say all that, but no, she's a friend of mine, and she invited me to Colonial Cafe, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I like to try new places. This is so embarrassing. Oh my god, fuck it. I'm gonna keep going just so you guys can see like the behind the scenes too. So we go to this place called Colonial Cafe out in West Aurora. Y'all know I don't like those parts of the town, you know? It's not my home habitat, my home. So every time I'm in the West Side, I just gotta be all eyes, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm just fucking with y'all. They lame as fuck over there. But we go to eat at Colonial Cafe, and so boom, we walk in. We get seated. Well, no, we don't get seated because that's the problem. So we walk over to the table. The waitress looks at me. She's like, is a booth fine? I didn't think nothing much of it, you know? I was like, yeah, booth is fine, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm playing it cool, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to impress Shorty or whatever. And they point us to this booth, and they're like, all right. So they look at me like, you go first, motherfucker. I was like, all right. So, dude, tell me why I bent down to get into the booth. Hell nah, bro. Hell no. There was no way I was gonna fit in that bitch, bro. Like, I put my butt cheek in, but my whole body was still out. Like, the booth said, nope. The booth said, hell nah, dog. You're not finna sit here. Dude, and it's so embarrassing because, you know, you're with your... I don't know. I don't want to call it a date because I don't know if she'd call it a date. You know, I don't want to be out here like, oh yeah, we went on a date. And she's like, no, I hung out with my friend. You know what I'm saying? That's embarrassing. But you're there with the other person, and it's just so embarrassing. Now this Colonial Cafe place is a very quiet place, so there's people looking. You know, now everybody just saw me try to go into the booth and I couldn't fit. So now I gotta pretend I didn't even want to sit there. I'm like, man, fuck that table. It's dirty. You know what I'm saying? It still got syrup on there. I had to pretend I didn't want to be there. So then old girl, she's like, oh, well, we'll take a half booth and half table because this fat piece of shit doesn't fit in a full booth. Well, she didn't say that, but I'm sure that's what she was thinking. And that's what's been on the back of my mind, you know what I'm saying, for the past 24 hours since we've went there. And it's embarrassing. That's like the shit that, you know, like those cringe moments that you're like, oh, I hope that never happens. Like, dude, what's more embarrassing for a fat person to go out with someone and then they get seated and you don't fucking fit where they're going to sit you? Like, that's right now. Like, right now, I'm full motivation, 100% going to the gym next week. I mean, not next week. I'm going to the gym tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm back on my bullshit on the gym. I'm tired of not fitting in the booth. And I'm probably going to make this into a stand-up bit. But I just wanted to fill you in because I feel like we have now the people that listen to this podcast and me have a I feel like we have a connection, and I wanted you guys to feel my pain or my how I was feeling and kind of give you a behind the scenes look at, like, no matter how funny this shit gets, like, we all got struggles, man. This shit was embarrassing, and I got hit, and it felt like a fallen soldier moment. But I'm back on, and I'm happy to be here, man. And I just You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck booths. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck did they even invent booths anyway? Yeah, fuck booths. I still heard about that shit. But anyway, the Colonial Cafe food was good. If you guys never been there, that place was good. Way better than Nickery's. You know what I'm saying? I know I was gonna drop the Nickery's thing, but I'm just saying Colonial Cafe is in the West Side. You know, I don't like the West Side, but I'd rather go to the West Side to eat than going to Nickery's, which Nickery's I think is on the West Side anyway. So 2 points less. Anyway, let me move on from that. Right now I'm still stuck in this little like trance of a feeling. I'm stuck in this like how do you say like I'm high off life. You know how cornballs say I'm high off life. I don't need drugs. Shut the fuck up. I love drugs, but I also like being high off life. And this past week was one of those moments, man. I told you guys I was gonna do that big show at Waubonsee, and it's been something I've been waiting on for the past month or 2 months that I've been waiting on this show. I've been prepping. I've been getting my set ready. I've been just all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I know that like sometimes when you guys come to a show and I do the show and sometimes people tell me like, oh, it seems like it's easy to you. You know, you make it look easy, but really it's just fucking. It's so stressful because I have bad anxiety and anxiety crossed with like with I guess stage fright and then you're worried about the material. Is it gonna work? And I'm just very self conscious and it's just all those stuff is not good for your like mental health. But anyway, so sometimes I feel like I have big weight on my shoulders and I finally got done with this show and I have like this whole weight has been lifted from my shoulders. Not saying that I didn't want to do it, not saying that I didn't have a blast doing it because I did. It was probably some of the most fun I've had on stage in a long time and it was just such a great experience. So I want to thank everybody who came out, man. It was so many people there. It was so many people there that the show had to get cut a little bit early because of the capacity of the room. The police was tripping. So I guess that's a good problem to have, you know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, like, yes, you know what I'm saying? It didn't get canceled because there was no people there. It was actually got cut short because there's too many people there. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank everybody that came out. I want to thank the organizations that brought me out, Mecha and Latinos Unidos. You guys fucking rock, and thank you guys for everything you've done for the community and continue to do, and I hope that we can work together for another event, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad I was able to do this for you guys, and I'm glad you guys invited me to do it. And I wanted to give a quick shout out to Juana. Juana, if you guys were at the show, she was the young lady who opened up for me. She did a 5-minute set, and it was completely hilarious. It was her first time doing stand-up, and usually comedians will tell you they'll recommend you not to do stand-up like in front of like a big crowd if it's your first time because stuff that seems funny to you may not seem funny to other people. And comedians have been telling me that like ever since I started doing comedy. They're like, you always want to practice at open mics, you know? But the real shit is that if you're fucking funny, no matter who you do this shit in front of, if you're gonna be funny, you're gonna be funny. And maybe if you practice at open mics and you practice doing shows, you may get better at performing and you may get funnier just because your timing is better. But if you have the spark and you have the jokes or the material, it doesn't matter if it's your first time or your 100th time. If you're funny, you're funny. And that's what it was. And this girl was fucking hilarious. And because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, you know, at first I was kind of nervous. I was like, oh man, I feel bad for this chick. I feel like she's gonna fucking bomb. You know, people think this shit is easy, but it's not. But you know what? She shut me the fuck up and she fucking snapped. And I wanted to salute her. So shout out to Juana. Her Twitter's like believer_Juana or something like that. I honestly didn't look, but I'll tag her. On a few pictures once I get all the pictures from the show ready. And I just want, again, one more time, thank you guys for everybody who came out to the show, man. And it was a pleasure being there, and it was just a lot of fun, man. And also another thing that happened this week, let's move on a little bit from myself, and let's get into real news, man. This motherfucker Donald Trump pulled up to the UFC fight this weekend. It was a big weekend for contact sports is what the people are calling it now, basically los putazos. There was a boxing match with Canelo, and I don't even know the other guy's name. I'm not going to attempt to say it. I'm not even going to attempt to look it up. It was a Russian, I think. Was it a Russian? Mm-hmm. He was from the other side of the world. Who cares? That's fucked up. Anyway, Canelo fought the guy, and I honestly didn't order the fight because I don't have cable, and also it's going to be on Twitter for free 30 seconds after it's over. So I just like to wait and watch it for free. Anyway, unless somebody invites me, then I'll go watch it, you know what I'm saying? And take a 12-pack or something like that, but I'm not finna order the fight. Anyway, but some people do, and that's good for you guys, you know? But they ended up scheduling the fight on the same day. It was a UFC, was it 244? And it was also the Canelo fight. And I don't think this ever happened before, but it was kind. I think it was like it was supposed to be a competition to see who got more viewers. I think it was what originally was set up to be, but then I guess people figured like, you know what? Let's not do this. I think it was the boxing match was postponed a little bit, and they actually played the UFC fight in the boxing arena on the big screens, and didn't begin the actual boxing fight until the UFC one was over, and that was fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to see how far UFC has come to where they're like a big pay-per-view company where it's like people are paying top dollar to watch these fights, and they're selling out arenas just like boxing matches, and just like just like any other big ass sport, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember when that UFC was like first coming around, like I remember it was like on TV, and it was just like, what the fuck is this? Why are these guys like in the cage? And now it's like the biggest fucking sport in the world, you know, one of the biggest sports, and I think it's quickly becoming the biggest in the world. And I'm not even a big UFC fan, you know what I'm saying? I like to see people beat the shit out of each other, but I rather do it live, like, you know, in school or like on the streets. But I don't know. I'm not the type to sit and turn on the TV and watch two guys fight. It's just, and I don't know. It's not my thing. But like I said, not judging is just not something that I'm into. Anyway, the fight was good. I watched the highlights on Twitter, like I said, and it was crazy to see Donald Trump walk into that motherfucker. He went to the UFC fight. He got a mixed. People are saying he got a mixed audience. I guess welcome. It was some boos, and there was also some cheering. UFC is a racist ass fucking sport, so you would assume that he did get some cheers. A lot of, you know, that the Dana White, which is like what is he, like the owner, I guess, or whatever of the UFC, or the CEO of the UFC, he's a big Trump supporter. I know a lot of people that support the UFC, you know, they're the guys that wear the UFC shirts and drink Monsters and, you know, punch walls, and that's what they like, you know, that's what they do. And so I can imagine some people were cheering in the arena as well. But what I'm trying to get to is this motherfucker Trump is everywhere, bro. He was like at the World Series games getting booed. Now he at the UFC. Like, when does motherfucker do his job, bro? This motherfucker out here having more fun than a motherfucker that worked 40 hours a week. Like, bro, no wonder the country falling apart. This motherfucker at the events, at the fights. Bro, get your ass to work. Anyway, and he's the first president to ever go to a UFC fight. Which is fucking, I don't know, is that history? I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know what it means, but it's just crazy that he's involved. So, you know, that definitely helped the UFC. Like, it's definitely going to help him as far as, like, clout, you know? The president was out of our shit. Like, come on. That's huge. And on top of that, moving on from the UFC fight and what was going on this weekend, there was some sad news that I wasn't going to talk about because I feel like this podcast is for fun, but I feel like we're getting to know each other a little bit better, and I can kind of share what I'm disappointed about, because sometimes people do hit me up and they're like, dude, I know, like, they agree with me or they want to talk about it. Anyway, this past Halloween, a lot of people didn't get to trick-or-treat because of the snow. I was actually excited to give out candy. I was supposed to give out candy, and I bought candy for my office. I bought a big bag of Kit Kats, a big bag of Twix, and no fucking kids came, and it's all right. Fuck you, kids. I'm going to eat the candy myself. It's not a problem. That ain't no problem. Like the one guy who was like, that ain't no problem. That ain't no problem. But anyway, that's not a problem. But this thing that happened in Chicago, and like I said, I didn't want to talk about this, but I have to, and it's because it's just fucking insane, man. And it's just crazy to think about. And you know, this is just fucking like straight out of like some fucking movie, and this is really happening fucking 40 minutes away from where we live, and if you're in Chicago, way closer, you know. So there was this girl, 7-year-old girl in the Little Village neighborhood. Everybody knows what Little Village is. I don't care if you're from the suburbs or if you're from Chicago. La Villita, you guys already know. If you guys want some good Mexican food, maybe some of you guys got your quinceañera dresses there. I know we went to buy a chambelane suit one time all the way to the fucking flea market in the Little Village. I think my mom got a fake license in Little Village one time. No, I swear to God, I know my dad for sure got a fake license in Little Village, and I'm out here snitching on them, but who cares? I think my mom got some fake shit up there, man. And Little Village, like, you can get anything in Little Village. Like, motherfuckers will walk up to your car, they're like, I got elotes, sandia, and social security numbers. What do you want? I was like, oh, damn, gee, let me get a social. Anyway, that's Little Village, and I like going to Little Village. Like I said, they have good food. I like Aguascalientes. That's really good. They have a Comales there, but Comales rots. And they also have what they have a few different spots. Atotonilco's a fucking hit, dog. And they have a lot of spots, and but I go up there a lot, and it sucks to hear about this stuff this motherfucking neighborhood has a prison in the middle of the neighborhood, like not a jail, not a police station, a prison. Like, they have like imagine you're just sleeping and the fucking inmates running through your yard that just escaped, just fucking going through your shit. Like that's so fucking crazy. Like, and there's this comedian there's a comedian. I'm not even gonna say his joke, but it talks about how like Little Village will never be gentrified. You know what I'm saying? Because like no white person wants to live next to a fucking prison. Fuck that. Unless the prison shuts down and they turn into like a fucking Sky Zone or a mattress firm or some dumb shit like that. Like everything else that gets shut down. But anyway, oh my God, I just got so much off topic, and I'm out here talking shit when this whole thing was supposed to be a serious conversation. So this little girl, 7-year-old girl, was trick-or-treating out, what I'm saying, just like any other kid would. And it makes me think, because, all right, let me tell you what happened first, because I'm out here getting off fucking track. There was somebody who was shooting at somebody else, and I know people say, oh, well, it's Chicago, it happens, but it's unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate that it got normalized, because shit like that should not be going on, because it is just fucking not right, man. And there was this girl, 7-year-old girl, who was trick-or-treating, ended up getting hit by a bullet via a shooting. Obviously, she was not the intended target. She got shot in the chest. As of right now, the girl, as far as I know, is still hanging on to her life. She's in the hospital. And what's even sadder is the person that they arrested for this crime and this horrific crime was a 15-year-old boy, And, dude, it's just like, fuck, dude, like, fuck. And I'm not saying it would be any better if the guy was older. But at this moment, you're just ruining 2 fucking lives, because this 15-year-old kid, I mean, my brother's 14 years old, you know what I'm saying? My brother's 14 years old, and I cannot, in my wildest dreams, even imagine him rolling up a blunt. Even though at his age I was already doing all that dumb shit, I cannot imagine him doing that, I feel like I would be disappointed. I feel like I would beat the fuck out of him, because that's just not who he is. Or that's what I like to think, that's not who he is. But imagine your brother of 14, 15 years old has a gun and now has shot at this person, maybe trying to prove a point or trying to prove himself to a group of kids who are pieces of shit as well, especially if anybody older than him was involved. Because if you're an older person and you're watching these kids do this shit, you're a fucking like scum of the earth piece of shit, And I'm sorry I sound kind of mad. It's just so fucking stupid, so senseless, so dumb. And this 15-year-old boy has now ruined his life, because he's going to go and he's going to do serious time. And if this girl, he's going to have this in the back of his conscience forever, So even if he does become free at one point, like his mind will never be free, because now he's responsible for like the injury. And if this girl does pass away, then the murder of this little girl. And dude, that's a heavy thing to live with. And I don't know, and I don't know how someone could do it, but it's just 2 lives taken at once because someone was trying to be too cool or trying to impress somebody or trying to be that guy, that street guy, which I hope this fucking mentality of shit dies, especially amongst these young kids trying to prove themselves to other people, like, oh, I'm a real one, and all this dumb shit, bro, because people are out here, it's just fucked up. It's just fucked up, and I didn't want, like I said, this podcast is supposed to be comedy, it's supposed to be fun and shit like that, but when shit like that happens in our so close to home, it's just like, how can you not talk about it? It's all over the headlines and it's all over the fucking news. But let's move on a little bit. I just wanted to touch base on that a little bit, just to show some I don't fucking know, but it's just fucked up. Also, in other sad news, Walter Mercado died. That's not as sad, really, as the whole fucking shooting thing, because honestly, this guy, who fucking knows him like that, I don't know. Is he gay? Is he not gay? I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. But this guy died. It's sad. I remember him. My mom used to watch him all the time on the news, and I don't know. Like, I never got into him, but I guess he's the reason why a lot of these girls are into zodiac signs now. Maybe he's probably one of the biggest influencers on that, like biggest advocates on the shit. I thought he was a magician for the longest. Like, I was like, this dude's gonna make shit disappear. But then he was like reading cards and shit. I was like, oh, he's just a fucking gay. No, I'm just kidding. That's fucked up. But what else did I want to talk about today, man? I'm sorry. I got a little too dark on that conversation. It was just something that was really bothering me, and I was not going to talk about it, but I had to, you know. Another thing I wanted to talk about, I want to talk about two more things before I get out of here. I wanted to give an update to the people that have been listening to this podcast since it first started. There's a few different events and a few different people I've talked about that people sometimes even come up to me in person and ask about these people that I talk about. Is it true? Is it real? What's their names? I think I know them. I think I know who you're talking about. All this shit. And one of the biggest people that people always ask me about was my neighbor across the hall. Remember the old lady I told you that I walked into her apartment and she was waiting on me with a robe on, halfway open, ready to get the dizzick. That lady, people been asking me like, "Hey, what's up with your girl? You know, she still live there. You still fuck with her? That's your girl." Da da da. Nah, I got some sad news for you guys. Some real sad news, and it's sad because she's unfortunately moved out at this point. She moved out as of the end of October, so she will no longer be bringing me licuados, no longer be bringing me lunch. And it's sad because I work in an office space where I work by myself all day, so sometimes seeing a friendly face once a day, like, it makes me feel good, like, okay, thank you, like, for talking to me, because sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in a dungeon, and then I get off and it's just like, oh, finally I'm out of here, but it kind of kills, like, your fucking, like, your whole mood gets shut down because you're locked in a fucking place. And it kind of, like, when you go to work, you know, you just feel like, ugh, I feel so shitty because I'm here locked in this fucking place. And no matter where you work, I think you always feel like that if you're at work, you know? But anyway, so she's going to be moving out. I actually helped her move all her stuff into her new location, even though my boss doesn't like that because he says we shouldn't mix personal stuff with business. But, I mean, she was a good friend, and I helped her move out. So unfortunately, there will be no more stories about her. And I wish her the best of luck. You know, I'm gonna see who wants to move in next door. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, somebody who makes fire food that will give me fire food. I'm probably gonna move in a fat person because, you know, fat people be eating, so they might have a lot of food. Anyway, talk this shit. I'm gonna move myself in. Nah, but other than that, the last thing I wanted to touch up on was what else did I want to talk about? I don't think anything. Oh yeah, you know what? Let me talk about this real quick. This is more of a rant more than anything. Like I told you guys, I work at Oakley over the weekend. It's a retail job. I don't do shit. I just stand in the corner, and basically my boss wants me to make sure that nobody steals. I'm obviously the worst person for that job, as many times as I talked about. I've stolen on this fucking podcast, but I love that job, and I don't steal from that job because I love that job and I love the people I work with, and it's always a fun time. But working retail, bro, is so fucking, like, it's such a drag, especially around this time. You guys know, if you work retail, if you're listening to this, whether you work at the outlet mall, whether you work at the Fox Valley Mall, or just a big retail store in general, you know that fucking Black Friday is creeping up on us, and oh, that's the fucking devil's holiday. Fuck that day, bro. That's where all the cheap people come out, and just to save 10% on some shit, they're out here at fucking 2 in the morning. Like, bitch, go with your family, eat Thanksgiving food, enjoy yourself. What you out here at the outlet mall for? Got my ass doing returns at 3 in the morning. Boy, got me fucked up. Anyway, that shit. Anyway, what I just want to remind people to do is, if you're shopping, man, you know what I'm saying, respect your retail workers. If you're out eating at fast food places overnight for the Black Friday shopping, or just any shopping in general, it doesn't have to be only Black Friday. Respect the fucking people that work there, bro. If somebody greets you when you walk in, say hi back. It doesn't cost you anything. You're not gonna lose your nuts because you say hi back to someone. Basically, I'm just mad because I said hi to like 3 motherfuckers today, and none of them said hi back. All I want you to do is look at me and smile, bitch. Smile, bitch, like that little Duval song. Smile, bitch. That's it. But you fuckers don't even do that. You have no respect. And honestly, I'm just mad. And you know what? I wasn't even gonna get into races. I was not gonna bring up the races, but I am gonna bring up the races because these motherfuckers pissed me off. It was 3 whites. You guys know how to spell that? YTS, 3 whites. And these motherfuckers, I knew they were white because of their skin, but also I knew they were white because they were wearing the fucking, you know those camouflage jackets that they wear with the woods? Like, they put those fucking fat-ass Farm and Fleet woods jackets. Like, I don't know it's you. Dude, you're at the fucking outlet mall. There's no woods here. Why are you wearing a wood camouflage jacket? And then you have like a orange Carhartt beanie. Like, do you want to be seen or not, bitch? Anyway, they walk in and I'm like, hey guys, how's it going? First of all, and second of all, you know the people that wear these kind of jackets with the camo and the woods camo, like they go hunting for deer, you know who they voted for. You know that. You know what I'm saying? They're gold members at Bass Pro Shop. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, these dudes, I said hi to them multiple times. I said hi to them when they walked in. They looked at me and looked away. And sometimes that happens when the person that you greet does not speak Spanish or doesn't speak the language you speak. I get it with foreign people. But if they're a nice person, they look up and they smile, they wave. Oh, you know, don't know what you're saying, but hello, you know. I don't speak whatever language you speak, but hello. You know, or the Chinese would be like, ching, 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 ching. No, they won't be like that. They won't be like that. Oh my God, edit that part out. That's racist. Anyway, they smile, you know? But these motherfuckers did not smile. I talked to them. I said, hey, do you guys need help? But like, just say no. Just say no. If you don't need help, just say no. But they just looked at me like I was fucking stupid and looked away. And they pissed me off. And that's why I went on this little rant at the end of this podcast, because if you're gonna go shopping for Black Friday or for anything, just please have respect for the workers. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't cost you anything, man. And this has been the Talking My Shit podcast, episode 23. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it started kind of off the rails and then it kind of went south. But that's what this podcast is about. It's a roller coaster of emotions. And I feel like this podcast was a roller coaster of emotions. This podcast episode was one of the weird ones. May not be one of the most popular ones after I put it out. But if you enjoyed it, please keep sharing it. Keep telling your friends about it. Like I said, this show that I just did was so fucking packed. Many people, billions and billions, Trump voice. No, I'm just kidding. But many people went because of the podcast, and I'm happy that it keeps on growing. So please continue to share it. Please keep putting the screenshots on your stories. Follow the Instagram page, Talking My Shit podcast. Keep supporting, and I'll talk to you guys next week. I'll be back with a fire episode, and I'm gonna be having some fire guests on here soon. So please continue to support. Thank you guys very much. Bye-bye.